Hello, I'm Rose, and I'm quite pleased that I've created my very first semi-original tag, which I am calling Childhood Book Tag. It's probably not the most creative title, but yeah, it works. To give us all some wiggle room, I'm deeming childhood being the age of 12 and under. That way we can include some middle grade books within these questions and what have you. Also, I'm sure I'm not the only person to create a get to know you tag with childhood being the theme, but hopefully I have some new and fun questions. I'll admit that I haven't looked to see who has created something similar, so do let me know in the comments of any booktubers who have something similar to this so I can check them out. Thank you very much. So the first question in this tag is really what sparked everything, and there are 8 questions total, and yeah, let's begin. So question number 1 is there a book that you didn't like the first time but ended up enjoying during a second read? This is probably my favorite question because I have a very notable answer for this, and that is Harry Potter. Let me explain. Okay, so when I was in the 5th grade and I was 10 at the time, just for reference, and my 5th grade teacher, she actually read aloud to us Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone, and bless her heart, but she wasn't that great at storytelling because your girl was not interested in what she was reading to us. It wasn't until I read Harry Potter on my own when I was, what do you know, 11 years old, and I decided from that moment on, I love Harry Potter forever and ever. I was also at the age that I was able to be excited and anticipate the release of, I think, years 5 through 7. By the time I got into Harry Potter, I think years 1 through 4 had already been published. Question number 2. Do you still have any books from your childhood? If so, what are they? And if not, do you wish you'd kept any of them? I most certainly do, but not all that I wish I could have kept. I've moved around a lot as an adult, and because of this, I've had to get rid of a lot of possessions, but I am thankfully now in a position that if I wanted to repurchase some of my childhood favorites, I can do that now, which is great. But in any case, the ones that I've managed to carry with me up through my adult life are all of these books that you see right in front of you are by Eva Ibbotson. She was one of my favorite authors growing up. I know she has, I think, way more than just these 3 books, but they were just the ones that I read by her, and I remember really enjoying them. I have not read them in many, many, many moons, and at some point I would like to reread them. And yeah, let's move on to other books that I still have from my childhood. By the power of magic in my hand, if I can get this into frame, The Chronicles of Narnia! Unicorn with blood on its horn. That's cool and child-friendly. Let's turn you sideways. There we go. Okay. So, fun fact. I think I have read, where are you? There you are, book number 2. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I have not read the other ones. So that is a thing that's going to happen in the future. Boom. Welcome to my Harry Potter shelf. I love it very much. And, that's some other things that are not Harry Potter, but whatever. This is their home too. And anyways, that's not the point. The point is, oh, hello. So, with the whole childhood being from the age of 12 and under, I have had these particular books at that particular age. Fascinating. But I do want to, well, except for these. These I got later on, but anywho's, something of note. Hey, Rose, why do you have 2 copies of the Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone? Depending on what country you're from. That is because this particular book, this very well-loved book that you can see, this was actually my very first copy of Harry Potter that I ever got. And I got this from a family friend, and it has sentimentality. I am sentimental, so that's why I keep it. Yeah, I think that's all you folks need to know, those are the particular books that I have kept since childhood. I definitely had many more, but yeah. Okay, I think it's time to move on. Next question. Question 3. Were there popular books or book series you never read or got into as a kid? For me, I think some notable ones are Charlotte's Web and Stuart Little by E.B. White, the Redwall series by Brian Jacques, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery, and Esperanza Rising by Pam Munoz Ryan. There's no particular reason of why I didn't read these books. I think just I wasn't really drawn to them. Simple as that. There is also, most notably, the Goosebumps series by R.L. Stine, but that's because, as a child, I found those to be scary, and even as an adult, I don't care for scary things. I do make some exceptions, but over 90% of the time, scary things are just a hard pass for me. Please and thank you. Okay, question 4. What did you mostly read? Fiction, nonfiction, comics, or manga? Has that changed as you've gotten older? I definitely read more nonfiction than I did as a kid, where I predominantly read just fiction. I never really got into comics or manga because I was never really aware of comics growing up, and I don't think I really knew what manga is until I was either in late high school or college. Look, where I'm from, comics and manga were just not really a thing. So even now, in present time, I don't really read manga. When it comes to comics, I do read those comics. Yes. I read those every once in a while. That's a good example. Check, please. Yes. So, okay, question number 5. What were some of the popular books when you were a child in your country? Harry Potter is the king. Okay, Ron Weasley is the king, but Harry Potter is still the king. He's at the top. There was also the Boxcar Children series, Matilda by Roald Dahl, the Goosebumps series, Captain Underpants series by Dav Pilkey, anything by Dr. Seuss. Now is it Berenstain? Berenstain. That's what we're gonna go with. Cool. The Berenstain Bear series, nailing this, by Stan and Jan Berenstain. Okay, the the Magic School Bus series by Joanna Cole and Bruce Deegan. We're gonna go with Deegan, and so much more. Y'all, I am just rolling in nostalgia here. Anyways, so I also asked my husband this question because he is from Thailand, and his answers were there was a school book series called Mani, which helped little kids learn to read. I don't think they are used anymore in present time curriculum. Harry Potter. That was also quite popular, and frankly, I would really like to know in what country has Harry Potter not been popular? There were also a few manga that not only did he enjoy, but were just pretty popular in general, and that was Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Doraemon, yikes, and The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which originates from Chinese literature, but my husband said that he read the manga version of this story. There was also a book convention that he enjoyed going to that was held once a year, and he said there were sets of books that were categorized by math, science, history, physics, and so on, and each set had about 12 books within them, and it was these particular books that, even as a child, made him realize that he really enjoys science, math, physics. To this day, he is still like that. He still loves those particular subjects. And this guy, he loves them so much, he will sometimes, before bed, just for funsies, watch a video on calculus. He is a nerd, and I love him. Question number 6. Do you have any reading habits you've carried into your teenage/adult life, e.g., mouthing the words, reading one or multiple books at a time, dog-earing a book, reading without music, etc.? I used my finger or like a bookmark to help me keep my place when I was reading. I don't really need to do that hardly ever anymore as I got older and in present times. I'm pretty sure that when I was a kid, I stuck to reading one book at a time. Now, though, I'm perfectly fine reading more than one book at a time. The most I've ever read at once was probably like 7 or 8 books. It's been a while since I've done that. But I think on average, I probably read at least 2 books at once. I don't really recall listening to music when I was a kid as I would read. Now, it completely depends on my mood and what type of book I'm reading. So sometimes I will listen to instrumental music quietly in the background or just nothing at all. I've also always been careful with how I treat my books since I was a kid, and that has not changed. So I don't dog-ear my books, I don't write in them, and I do not judge anyone that does. Is that it? I think that is all for that particular question. So, moving on. Question number 7. How would you decide what to read? For example, did you choose a book based on the cover, the synopsis, or both? For me, it was a mixture of the synopsis and the cover design, which has lessened as I got older. I think, honestly, I solely decide what to read based on the synopsis. The cover design rarely, if ever, has any sway over what I read. In addition, I don't really recall kids recommending books to me besides Harry Potter. So I'm pretty sure I just decided what to read on my own. Now, as an adult, hello BookTube, I do take recommendations. So that part has changed. Moving on, question number 8, and the final question. Where would you normally get books from, i.e. library, yard sales, secondhand bookstores, etc.? I definitely used the school library a lot as a kid, and my parents, they would buy books for me. Once I got old enough to earn a little bit of money doing chores, then, every so often I would have to just buy things that I wanted on my own. And maybe not surprisingly, but I would buy books more often when I was younger compared to now, because I've mentioned before that as an adult, I rarely buy books. But anyway, when it came to buying books, I freaking loved the Scholastic Book Drive. Oh my gosh, that happened, was it twice a year? I think. From elementary school up to, I want to say maybe halfway through middle school. I loved the Scholastic pamphlets so much that I would cut out my favorite books and paste them to my bedroom wall. I am not ashamed. So I know that Scholastics was popular. Is it still around? I hope it is. In the US. But I wonder, does the Scholastic Book Drive, does it exist in any other country? Or maybe is there a company equivalent in other countries? That would be cool to know. Let me know in the comments below on that. But any other places that I would usually buy books was, I think, predominantly yard sales and secondhand bookstores. Yeah. Okay. Those are all of the questions. Pretty simple, fairly easy. I think that's apt for the type of book tag that this is. Yes. I can speak words in English. Anyways, I would like to make a blanket statement. If you enjoy reading middle grade or kids' books, don't feel ashamed of that. I do not understand this weird stigma that adults can't read those type of books. Books are meant to be enjoyed, and frankly, anyone who tries to gatekeep on this, pick a different hobby. So since I would like to include everyone, all of you, any of you that are watching this video, if you want to do this tag, feel free to do so. And if you happen to and you remember, come back here and let me know in the comments that you did this, or I can, do that handy thing and search in YouTube and find that on my own. That's completely an option. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! That's how I get my nerves out. It's very attractive. Yep. Yeah, I hear you. You're there. You're present. I don't want you in my presence, but, okay, cool. I'm feeling hair. Where are you? You sly culprit. I don't appreciate you. What? You disappeared. Good. Didn't want you around anyway. Okay.